am the community manager at Fable, and I am also a completely blind screen reader user. Today, I'd like to talk a little bit about the importance of testing your websites with people with disabilities, and a little bit about Fable's solution. See, everyone knows that testing your product with people with disabilities is super important. Automated testing is a really important first step that will help you catch the errors and is an important place to start on your accessibility journey. But we know that automated testing doesn't catch all of the possible errors, and it doesn't necessarily tell you about the actual experience that people with disabilities are having when they use your website or your app. However, testing with people with disabilities can be difficult. How do you recruit? How do you compensate people? What testing methodologies work best? The entire experience can be overwhelming. And helping with that problem is the reason that Fable exists. Fable helps you test your products with a wide variety of people, all of whom use assistive technology full-time. For example, we work with people who use screen readers, like myself. We work with those who use screen magnification technology. We work with folks who use what we call alternative navigation. And so that can cover voice control software, such as Dragon Naturally Speaking. It can cover the voice control software built into other platforms like Mac, iOS, Android. It can cover things like switch users. So users who can only move perhaps one hand or a small part of their body and can control the entire computer using only one or two buttons. We also offer multiple ways to engage with folks with disabilities. We offer written compatibility tests that allow you to test with multiple people and get written reports about where the issues are, what the completion status is, and what the experience is like. We offer prototype reviews where you can have interactions with people with disabilities by a video chat, and you can show them your prototypes before they ever get to development. You can do user interviews with people, and you can go through ideation and design and research, or just learn about assistive technologies that you may have never been exposed to before. You can do QA sessions with folks. If you need to talk with someone who has a little bit more development experience and understand how best to use landmarks or labels or how best to lay out controls, that kind of thing. And you can also do self-guided tests, which is a way for you to get video results from people with disabilities without yourself having to moderate the sessions. Another key aspect of what Fable offers is our fast turnaround. We return results in 2 business days so that you can engage in testing frequently without having to wait for results and without bogging down your existing processes. We also help you with measurement, whether it's measuring completion percentages of tasks, whether it's using AUS, which is our adapted version of the SUS scale, and we help you with knowledge. You get access to our Learning Center, which is packed full of articles, not only on how to use Fable, but also on assistive technology, on topics and accessibility, many of which are written by those of us who live with disabilities ourselves. So you get to hear directly from the experts rather than taking things second or third hand. And you work with our trained, vetted community so that you can get the highest quality, most professional results possible. And that's what helps you at Fable drive inclusive outcomes. One good example is we work with the CBC, which is Canada's version of the BBC, and we helped them ensure that their online election results were fully and completely accessible. Of course, when they first started, the accessibility and the experience for people with disabilities wasn't great. But they were able, first of all, to understand what improvements needed to be made, to make those improvements, and then retest in order to validate that their accessibility efforts were actually working. And they were then able to do a final test on Canada's actual national election night that allowed them to validate that, yes, they had created an experience that works great for all kinds of assistive technology users across different platforms and different devices with different abilities and needs. Another company using us to perform high impact research is Gatsby. You may know them as a web platform that lets you build your websites entirely in JavaScript. And they recently used Fable to perform research with various prototypes to figure out what methods of JavaScript routing would work the best for people with disabilities. And they were then able to take those research findings and include them in Gatsby to trickle down to make things more accessible for every website that was built on the Gatsby platform. And of course, we're also working with Co-op to help them with all of the above to ensure that accessibility is embedded into their process so that they can test early, so that they can test often, and so that accessibility can be built in to their entire process from initial design to final release. And that's what we're really passionate about here at Fable. Thank you very much.